This is a book called Ladies and Other Vicious Creatures. And this was my first poetry chapbook that I did with Raw Dog. This is called My Girls Are Always. My girls are always vicious, beautiful wolves and serpents in their truest form, and I like to believe they are pieces of me, if it's possible to have that much ugly history etched upon my bones. My girls are always damaged, and since broken wings and hearts are too cliché, I give them splintered minds and sickening passions, and sometimes imperfect smiles, and hope it does not reflect too much of me. Or maybe I'm wishing that it will. And this is how I tell you what a quiet monster I've become, and how I'm resigned to a place where romance is more like fear than flowers. I wrote this about a good friend of mine that became a heroin addict. It's called Jane's Disappeared. She's disappeared, Jane's disappeared, but I haven't seen her photos stapled to a telephone pole or in the window at the 7-Eleven. I guess it's safe to say that she's only gone from my world. I hear from a friend of a friend that she's still breathing, and that will have to be enough for me. Jane was disappearing even when I used to see her, fading into yellowed skin and bony angles, in the company of a useless bag of flesh that I can tell used to be a young girl from the county, just like Jane and I once were. And this junkie girl, this friend, this whatever, says to me in a brittle, wasted voice, "Oh, you have wings tattooed on your back. I really wish I had some wings." And she reaches out to touch my skin, but I pull away so she can't touch me with fingers that pick at open sores. I pull away and wish her good luck getting off the ground with so much poison in her veins, wings or no. Since then, I'd see Jane from time to time at a party or in photographs, and even once or twice we've spoken, and more than once or twice I've asked her why. And she just says, "Baby, you know there was always this terrible thing inside me, even back when we were just young girls in the county." And I know she's right. There's been something tearing at her bones and her soul since I've known her. She got her feral beasts and I've got mine. And these monsters used to chase us through the woods, across the field, and she and I were sisters, always running, just escaping by a breath. And I don't know where I was when her beast caught her. I thought she was behind me when I ran across the bridge. But I hear from a friend of a friend that she's still breathing, and that will have to be enough for me. She's out there in the world and she's still running, and that will have to be enough for me. This is called 18 Years. We can't tell you what we saw that night, and even if we could, you'd never believe it. 18 years, and I'm really not sure that I do. I hear from my friend, and we talk about life, about women, and he tells me how Manhattan is eating him alive. And at the end of the call, he always says, "What was it? What did we see that night?" 18 years, and it haunts him. He still doesn't know. But there was something there at the edge of the woods, and it made no sense, not then and not now. But the night was so cold, and we saw it breathing, and we know that it saw us breathing too. But my blood still runs cold when I drive past those woods, and when he asks me at least twice a year what it was, still I can't tell him, and I doubt I ever will. 18 years, I can't say it, but I'm sure it's still there. This is going to be my last one. It's called Ursa Minor. These are all true stories in this book, by the way. She said she had to leave because the universe wanted her to. And she said the universe didn't want her to work too hard. Then she said the universe oversaw her mistakes and bade her to do stupid things to learn. She said that the universe wanted her to think about herself more often. And she said she could have been brighter, but the universe's obstacles were wearing her down. So when I remarked how amazed I was that the universe was able to tend to all of its other infinite responsibilities while still focusing so intently upon her auspicious life, she said that the universe saw it best that we no longer correspond.